written for him. Hollywood by Andrew Cushion. Not bad, is it, at all? Let's see how they get on the Oki this afternoon. Chris Mason and Ned Bolting are waiting to talk us through it.
Thank you, Jackie. Some things never change in darts. It's a simple game. There's a board, there's 3 darts, and there's James Wade at the Oki, especially in the Masters. He has been ever present ever since this tournament was called into existence. He's been part of it. Rather fulsome looking beard that James has been developing, the 37-year-olds, during the last few weeks of lockdown, Chris. But what a nice contrast of characters and personalities and careers at very different points here we've got on the Oki.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on, Ned. And, well, Dobey sort of stalled momentarily in 2020, but just towards the back end of the year started to find some form we expect. And, well, now we're sort of coming into the second phase of his career. Has to find just a tad more consistency, and he's not far off going deep in these type of events, making his debut, of course.
James Wade, the machine, more like the perpetual motion machine, isn't he? That elusive invention that is yet to be, where you put some energy in at the beginning and at the end you've still got the same amount of energy there. And he just seems to have a career that shows no sign of really relenting. He can, when you think perhaps that James Wade is running out of steam, he'll produce a couple of performances, as he did just a couple of years ago, winning the World Series title and the European Championship.
Yeah,
Look at
that. Within a week. Starts with a max. So their 3rd meeting on TV. 7th meeting overall, 1 apiece on TV.
131.
Grand Slam way back in 2016. James Wade winning that one 16-5. And the Players' Championship finals in 2018. Dobey winning that one 10-9. It's their 2 TV meetings, 1 apiece.
Both players out of the traps fast here.
I was impressed with Dobey in that match against the informed Dimitri. What was really impressive was the scoring phase of the game.
147.
His first 9 dart average was 112.46, finished with an average of 97.36.
140.
Possible.
Well, James Wade is on a 10 darter here. Look at that. Tops for 10 darts. He'll take that nonetheless. A fantastic start from James Wade, and not too shabby from Chris Dobey either. Great start. Bodes well. Both players hovering around 120 after the first leg in their averages.
It'd be nice if they
140
can keep that up for as long as this one lasts. Best of 19, first to 10. Another impressive performance from Merv King there.
97.
Tournament average of over 101.
Just solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not just been a flash in the pan. He's been sustaining it over a number of weeks and months now.
Great response.
140.
Back-to-back 140s from Dobey. It's interesting that moment in the match that Merv brought up about Rob Cross. Well, it looked like he towed the Oki.
Oki gate.
I'm amazed they haven't introduced a rule to say that either continue a line in the carpet at the correct distance, or stipulate that you have to have your toe on or in line with the Oki. It would completely remove any kind of confusion like that.
It does seem like a simple one to get right. Perhaps a line in the carpet does all you need there, Mace. I think it's a low-tech solution, but I think you might have hit the nail on the head.
Ooh.
Oh, that's unlucky.
That was for an 11.
57.
This is the 12, but plenty of time on his side.
Needs a treble here just to apply a little bit of pressure.
Winner of this one faces the winner of MVG and Johnny Clayton. Johnny Clayton again, another impressive performance from him last night. Had the highest average of the day.
So 1 leg apiece. Going with the throw so far.
2 very comfortable holds of throw.
134.
Yeah, James Wade, one of the, is it 4 ever presents?
Yep.
MBG, Peter Wright, Dave Chisnell, and James Wade.
And of course, like MVG,
43.
former champion in this tournament, 9 televised titles in his career to date. James Wade, Masters being probably of those 9 his greatest, I would imagine, on that extraordinary night in
58.
Scotland that we've spoken about at length, especially when we're interviewing Merv. Just to remind him of how Wade came back from the dead in that match.
Yeah, you enjoyed bringing that up, didn't you, Ned? A little twinkle in your eye.
Not so much of a twinkle in Merv's eye, I don't think.
No, certainly wasn't in that interview.
A slight narrowing of the eyes. Oh, good darts.
171.
Well, they're both throwing really well here.
4 different winners of this event since its inception back in 2013. Taylor winning the first
44.
one,
James
beating Lewis in the final
138.
10-1. Then Wadey in that amazing comeback you mentioned in 14, and then MVG
98.
5 on the spin, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. And then last year Peter Wright backing up that wonderful win in the World Championships, lifting this one a month
140.
later.
James Uruguay 40.
Good marker.
And on third
Very,
leg,
very
James
tidy from the machine
Away
so far.
Christopher
Absolutely
Great
nothing
standard.
wrong with the way it's working.
12 and 15, the 2 winning legs for James Wade. And 15 in the middle of that from Dobey. Not a breaker throw in sight so far.
Well, first
42.
slightly ragged little visit there from James Wade and a gritting of the teeth in response. But Chris Dobey, comes from a darting family, doesn't he? His father, in many people's eyes, one of the best players never to have turned professional out in the
93.
North East. Gordon.
Absolutely. Wonderful player.
And his brother as well, I believe, so Chris's uncle, Arthur.
Usually find that majority of players do come from
100.
a darting background.
Read an interview with him where he said he used to practice when he was a toddler, throwing at the darts board and aiming at the treble 3 that you can see there as if it were the treble 20, because he couldn't get it high enough for the treble 20. So he's been playing darts for quite a while throughout his childhood, although his big break really only came when he went to the bingo with his mother, and there was a
137.
darts team there that were a player short, so he stepped up to the oche and had a go and discovered, surprise, surprise, he wasn't bad. And since then, as you say, he's had a blistering start to his professional career, and
93.
now it's just a question of finding his rhythm and his consistency, isn't it?
There's that wonderful story of Gary Anderson's first ever throw at the board, and he at 140.
100.
We've seen Gary a little bit later.
What was your first ever throw, Chris? You remember it?
No, but I like Dobey and many others. I came from a darting family. Every member of my family played
100.
County A standard.
122.
If it had been a 140, you'd have remembered it.
Absolutely.
90.
Well, Dobey's throw under pressure
100.
has to take this ton out, you feel. Perfect first start. One dart left. Oh, dear.
80. James Uruguay.
Door opens a little bit here for James Wade. And he takes it. So the first breaker throw, and that opens up a 3-1 lead for James Wade over Dobey.
Game.
Yeah, that's what Wadey does. He sort of sneaks up on you. Very solid on throw. Doesn't really worry too much. And these long distance matches about the breaks of throw, and
46.
like I said, he just sort of sneaks up on you, nicks one, holds, and you find yourself in all sorts of trouble.
It's been a feature of his game recently, hasn't it, over the last few years, when you watch it, Chris, some of the volatility that we used to associate with James Wade, for better or worse, because occasionally, by his own admission, he'd let himself down a bit from time to time, lose focus, concentration, but also he'd hit those real purple patches of heavy scoring. And now it's a much
140.
steadier game, isn't it? And that has pluses and minuses, I suppose.
He is mellowing, I think. But yeah, he was a prolific high scorer. Well, his nickname for a while was 009, of course.
58.
Wonderful, wonderful talent.
140.
Fatherhood mellows you, of course. Young Arthur, I'm sure, will be watching at home.
93.
Chris Dobey, also
Yeah, I
a
think
parent.
being a parent has certainly suited James.
59.
And to 116. Two trouble visit from Dobey would put him in a good position if James can't convert that 116.
100.
And he did need a breaker throw to win this match.
116.
We'll need two now, of course.
Tops then to take a 4-1 lead into the break, and he does.
James Wade.
And the margins were slight throughout that, but late on in that session, James Wade just put his foot to the accelerator, stepped on it, and in a trice, in the blink of an eye, he's opened up a 4-1 lead. It's tighter than that, though, you feel, and Chris Dobey's still very much in this. Welcome back to Milton Keynes. It's cold outside. You're in the best possible place, on the couch, hopefully with a cup of something warm, watching on as Chris Dobey does battle, and it is a battle at the moment against the relentless James Wade, the machine that just runs and runs. And he's doing a good job at the moment as well, very solid darts. Just for the first time really in the match, his average has dipped under 100, 99.8, but he's opened up a 4-1 lead, and it happened so fast, didn't it, Chris?
Yeah, he just creeps up on you and makes you pay.
46.
Winning legs of 12, 15, 16 and 15. Solid, if not spectacular. That is what James Wade ultimately is.
140.
A very reliable machine when he's at his best or near his best, which is pretty much where he is now, averaging 101.47. 50% on his doubles. He is wading. And because he's not littered with massive amount of 180s and 177s and 174s, when you're playing him, you sort of question yourself why you're not more involved. Dobey's going to have to find another gear from somewhere.
And he's going to have to shut him out in this leg, isn't he? Dobey's got to get over the line first here. Just the 60 on that visit there from James.
Yeah, doesn't like a switch. It's James. 140 would be ideal from here to leave a straight ton.
And he gets it right on cue.
That's his 7th of the match, 5 to Wade so far. Just the 180 in the match to James Wade.
81.
Oh, he loves a 160. Does Wadey. May see tops here.
Oh, that was tight.
Just bumped off the
160.
So chance here for James Wade to really rub salt into the wounds.
Pressure require 40.
Yet to get tops.
The trend continues. Pressure beginning to mount.
30.
You just never felt that was going to go somehow, did you?
This is for the double break.
50.
So let off the hook there.
10.
Well, a rare miss from Wadey on tops and 10s.
This has to go now. And it does. Good response. Nerve held. Job done. And 4-2 suddenly looks an awful lot better than 5-1, doesn't it? Still in it.
Well, how you mentally approach the match, for sure.
140.
All the nervous energy to get over the line in that last leg, and then Wade just casually pops a 140 in to get the proceedings underway in the next leg.
97.
It's a brutal game. There's no respite in darts, is there?
Nope. Can't be defensive.
Can't kick it back to the keeper.
Can't snooker your opponent.
40.
Every dart matters, every visit counts.
40.
And he pulled up short there. So a bit of an
He's
opportunity
just
now for
starting
Wadey.
to force the issue. Chris Dobey needs to be
140.
as natural as possible. Like he was. He's nearly 10 points off the average he had against Dimitri last night. And what was a rock solid performance.
It's an amazing game for body language connoisseurs, isn't it,
60.
darts? Sometimes the signs are so subtle, you can bear the details, they're just there. But when you see two players, as you saw Adrian Lewis and Michael Smith in those first 5 legs yesterday, absolutely relaxed and at the top of their game. There's no effort in the throw. And
140.
You have to play with just complete freedom.
121.
yeah,
Treble 17 will leave the ball. So a chance, an
97.
outside chance for Dobey to get a break of throw.
24.
Only needs the one treble in this combination. 14 leaves the ball. Treble leaves double 11.
That
was a quick one.
130.
first 2 darts perfect, but a little loose on the third. Oh well. 3 missed darts there for doubles, allows Dobey back in, and this would be for a break of throw. 2 darts then for the break. That was close. And that was less close.
Change required 12. James on the 7th leg.
Well, you've got to take your chances. And against a player like James Wade, that is doubly important.
Well, the last 2 legs was a 19-dart hold from Dobey, followed by a 19-dart hold from Wade. That will frustrate Chris Dobey. Had a great opportunity to get back on throw.
93.
Yeah, you feel they're dragging each other down a little bit at this point in the match there. Averages have slipped now, Dobey under 90.
Well, what would be frustrating for Dobey is he'll be fully aware that he's not
60.
replicating that performance against Dimitri last night. And that in turn will make him just engage the tricep and use a bit too much shoulder.
140.
That's better.
Much better. It's a 9th 140. 7 to James.
125.
There's not a lot in it if you look in the scoring department. Certainly in the finishing. 2 from 15 for Dobey.
87.
5 from 14 for Wade.
There's just still the 1 break of throw, isn't there?
Yep.
100.
I just find that so misleading, don't you? It looks like a cavernous lead, doesn't it? 5-2, but it just represents 1 break of throw.
That's what makes set play so exciting. You can be 2 sets to 0 down, but effectively you're only 1 break of throw from levelling things up.
77.
Yeah, good pressuring again from Wade. That
Richard
piles it
104.
on now for Dobey. 104 would be a big checkout, but you feel he's got to get close to taking this out. Not what he needed.
82 left, may go ball.
Oh, good dart.
72.
If he gets to go.
So 2 at double 8.
Yes,
Just needed the 1 though, and 6-2. Well, that is a big, big lead, and that was a 2nd break of the Dobey throw now, and Wade has the darts.
Well, his to lose from here, and absolute complete control.
Well, I don't know if Dobey's distracted by the fact that last time I heard, Everton were playing Newcastle United, his beloved team, and 0-0 at half-time, I think. Stuart Pike vaguely kept me informed of that match that he had half an eye on, let's put it that way. I'm absorbed in the darts, so I don't know what the score is, but I wonder whether Dobey's getting some information that's upsetting.
2nd max for James.
I hear that Newcastle are doing well, so perhaps That's the reason for him being unsettled, but that was a much better visit.
Be careful with the Newcastle fans, Ned. Very passionate about their football up there.
100.
Well, not least Chris Dobey. He was invited, wasn't he, by the club to come and take a tour around the training ground not so long ago.
$59. Change to 124. $80.
Good third dart there from James Wade. Sets himself up nicely. 210 for Dobey.
Yeah. 134.
Definitely the Motown shot with James Wade. Full tops.
Yes, on the ninth leg.
7-2.
14 dart
Chris
legs.
to throw first. Game.
A little wobble in the middle after the commercial break.
Was it a wobble? Maybe a wibble, possibly?
Yeah, a wibble.
Not a full-blown wobble, was it?
60.
Just a little bit of a shake. But Dobey at no point has really hit his stride, has he? He's not managed to hurt Wade, put him on the defensive, make him really rattled and insecure about his game. That's been the problem, I think. That Wade has played very well, but he's not been pushed hard enough by Dobey. And that's why we're looking at the scoreline.
They call him Hollywood, but James Wade's been
showbiz.
A bit more rock solid, and Dobey's been rolling a bit.
100.
Only 3 away now, James Wade. Incredible when you look at his career. Prolific winner, of course. Winning the World Series. Masters, of course. Europeans. Premier League winner. UK Open,
140.
World Grand Prix and the World Match Play, but never made the final of a Worlds. It always amazes me that. Maybe it's his type of play. Set play isn't good for him, maybe.
60.
Well, Dobey's got a chance here, hasn't he?
4 19s. We'll leave double 16.
So one dart at double 16 now. To turn the tide, and that potentially is a bit of a moment. It's the first break of the James Wade throw, and it came just when he needed it. 7-2 down, look bad. 7-3, well, Chris Dobey is still just about in this match, but the legs are running out from the man from Bethington. To score, 7-3, James Wade leads Chris Dobey. 3 more legs, takes him to 10, gives him the match and puts him into the next round. So Chris Dobey, having lost the first 2 sessions, he needs to turn the tide now, and he needs to start winning and breaking James Wade's throw more regularly. One break of the Wade throw, and it came in the very last leg before the break, the 10th leg. He needs more of the same now, Chris Dobey.
Sure does.
60.
Chris, going back to your argument about James Wade, your contention that he's not really suited in terms of the World Championship to set play. Counter that with his victory at the World Grand Prix.
Yeah, he won the World Grand Prix once, but I think then the double start negates the
100.
hold of throw and break of throw situation, which I don't think particularly suits his type of match play. He's been far more successful in the match play format of the game, and I think that's because he's so conscious of holding throw.
But he is one of those players more than many who, when he finds himself behind on his opponent's throw, he's not that bothered. He'll just let it go, won't he? And start already to think about his next throw. And there aren't many players who do that as obviously as he does.
94.
Which is why you don't see him with those massive type averages, because if he's halfway through a leg and he's not winning it, he just sort of goes through the motions, really.
140.
Last year I had a look at the stats of his averages on throw, and they were literally night and day in terms of against the throw.
And I can understand the psychology of that. Why waste energy on a leg that you're very unlikely to win? And yet very few players do it to the same degree as James Wade does. Let's just keep an eye on this. Well, it's opportunity's gone on this particular visit, but another very
121.
tidy visit. And just wonder why more players don't opt for that policy. I mean, what did you do, Chris, in the day?
Lost them with throw and against throw.
That's another way of playing.
133. Change required 20.
2 5s. Dobey waiting on double 8 for a break.
Games on the 11th leg. James Wade.
No,
The
sir.
leg is Chris
No.
to throw first. Game.
So Dobey now, 8-3 down, needs to hold.
Averages 95 for Wade.
140.
93-33 for Dobey. He's picked it up a bit. He's going to run out of legs, I'm afraid.
108.
That's a third for James Wade. 21 140s.
125.
11-10 to Dobey. 27 scores between a ton and 139. 14-13 in favour of Wade.
100.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I'm a big fan of these celebrations on the big screen behind the players there. It's great. If you've been contributing to that and you've seen your little face pop up there, it's all part of the fun. And it does bring that sense of all of you at home into this empty auditorium where we can feel it coming across, and it helps to add the atmosphere. Good innovation.
125. Chris required 140.
Pressure again on Dobey's throw here. Can't finish. Just needs to tidy things up. Single 20 will leave tops. Can
100.
Wadey make him pay?
96.
Oh,
Certainly in his scope of things, 96.
Oh, that was perfect. And it was a hammer blow, you feel. Another blow takes him to within one
Game on.
leg of victory now, and it's on that famous Wade throw.
$140.
I think he wants to get it done now, Chris.
Well, you don't get paid overtime. Not in this game. Trying to keep as much
140.
energy as possible. Long, long day tomorrow for the players. So know that Wadey
41.
knows how to win them. And he's got to play 3 matches on the day. 3 long matches.
Needs a treble.
Needs more
57.
than one, ideally.
Had a chance there to
Yeah.
effectively nick the darts, didn't he?
To
But
let Wadey off. And this is what he does.
180.
snuffing out all hope, you sense, as he moves to within 140 there.
He needs to follow it. Both in.
Great response, though, from Dobey.
182.
He is not giving up his first
40.
maximum of the match. Oh, loose from Wade. Well, 1-2-4.
78. Richard 124.
Already had one crack at this, missed the double 11, if you remember.
Can still do it. Treble 18. Leaves the ball.
Oh.
99.
Great effort.
James
So
Uruguay,
62 to wrap things up. 29 left. 9 for double 10.
52. Richard Uruguay 25.
9 double 8 to stay in it. Get his first break of throw.
Wow, that was like a match start in itself, wasn't it? To stay alive, and he was up to it, and he takes Wade's throw, and he moves well to 9-4, and hope springs eternal for Chris Dobey. Got to hold the throw now and see where it takes him from there.
Well, we had that
57.
sort of middle part of the match where it was back-to-back 19 dart holds as throws. Since then, James Wade's won in 14, 14, 18 and 11. And in
58.
between those legs, a 15 and a 14 darter with that 108 finish on the 15 dart for Dobey. James Wade creeping back towards the 100 average.
134.
Dobey averaging 95, just too short of where he was last night.
Good switch from Dobey, though, in the last visit.
95.
Keeps his nose in front on his throw. They needed that.
100.
When you feel like you're pretty much out of it, you tend to
140.
throw with so much more freedom, and that's what we're seeing here from Dobey.
$60.
Oh, you can feel the hot breath of James Wade breathing down his neck though, can't he? Look at the scores, they're tight, and this is a big visit from Wade, setting himself up nicely here.
Has options, may stay there.
140.
Could have gone treble 16, of course, to leave tops. Must have liked the lie. No finish now for Dobey. Can only leave it handy and hope.
92. James requires 68.
Businesslike, efficient, destructive. James Wade doesn't give Chris Dobey much of a chance in the end. 10-4 the scoreline. Dobey on his debut exits. Wade, the ever-present at the Masters, carries on. The pistons are pumping, the wheels are beginning to turn, and the machine is slowly but surely getting up to speed.
The 2014 champion James Wade is through to a Masters quarter-final against either Michael Van Gerwen or Johnny Clayton. He's beaten Chris Dobey 10-4 here in Milton Keynes. Very solid performance from the machine, and he is safely through. He looks reasonably happy, doesn't he? So he should as well. 97 average for the machine, 94 for Dobey, 4 maximums for James, 43% on his doubles, and he is standing by, ready to talk to John about it.
Andy's got a smile on his face. Pleased to go through, and pleased with the way you played, Wadey?
Yeah. I think I played well enough, and I think I was the better player of the two. So I'm happy.
There's just that little sticky spell when you came back from the first break.
Well, it's sticky or nervous. It's a close confinement of the two. But no. I was happy. I was lucky enough, and I'd done enough. So.
Just before we came live on air, we were talking a little bit and talking about the fact you've been doing this now for something like better part of 20 years. I mean, I remember when you were the bright young thing coming through. Now you've got all the experience in the world.
Many things but bright. No. I've been playing, in my opinion, a top flight of darts for 3 decades. I think that's quite something on my own behalf, and I'm proud of that. I've been on the side of darts. When we started from South Africa, and we come through, and I think we started. The Premier League, and then the high end of darts. And I was very, very fortunate to be part of that.
And coming through, playing well, playing a nice solid game. Next round could be Michael Van Gerwen or Johnny Clayton. Have you got the game to be going really deep into this competition this year?
I couldn't really care who I got. I don't think that you can get involved in this game anymore unless you're playing great dart players. So it is what it is, and I'm certainly not frightened of any dart player, and I believe any other dart player will tell you the same thing. Dart players don't bother me. It's just myself that bothers me.
Keep punching. Still got a smile on your face. Still enjoying it. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, fella. Take care.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good to see James looking so happy there. Well, he should be as well, because he is safely through. Now we are halfway through the session. Nathan Aspinall next. He's the Premier League runner-up